can tell, I am mad. You need to call. What's made this worse and made me call this press conference is the fact that I've left several messages with your campaign to call me to get this straightened out. I gave you numerous opportunities to contact us to make it right. Every single time I was told someone would call me, someone would meet with me. That was 5 days ago. I've not yet heard one word. And even after I said that and gave that opportunity for them to straighten it out, that's when he made this statement. And obviously, for those that are not familiar with it, I'm going to go ahead and quote it. From the Brownsville Herald. When they don't meet the standards they set for themselves, this is straight from the congressman, apparently. When they don't meet the standards they set for themselves, they open themselves up to ridicule, as my opponent did by posing with semi-nude women, one of whom was a minor, whatever, at an S&M party. His shocking judgment was bad enough, but when asked about it, he fibbed, saying it was for a women's group and big brothers and big sisters. But according to media reports, the charities have denied receiving any money or even being associated with the S&M party. Again, he refers to it like that. That's not what I consider family values. Respect for women, setting a good example for young people, and owning up to your shortcomings have much to do with family values. That's straight from Ortiz's mouth, okay? Like I said, if he had said that to me in person, we would have words. He needs to apologize for that. For him to say that, especially after I contacted his campaign to try and make things right, especially to the young woman that was pictured in that unnecessarily, he needs to man up. We do plan on filing a defamation lawsuit against Mr. Ortiz. One way or another, he can either settle it out of court, make it right with all the parties involved, including the young lady and everybody else that he's smeared, trying to go after Mr. Farenthold, or we'll see him in court. Okay, that's all I have to say. Any questions?
If he apologizes, will you just proceed with the suit?
He's going to have to make it right to not just me, but to everybody.
How are you defamed or crushed girls? What exactly is it that was defamatory in your eyes?
The fact that he's referring to an obviously charitable event as some kind of deviant sexual activity, obviously is making, and the way they were describing the girls, obviously questions their promiscuity, their immoral character, and it's evident in all the comments that have been posted in response to the photo nationwide. And I do have copies of every single comment made by, whether it's an actual blogger or by a press outlet or by people simply leaving comments to those posts. And thankfully, the majority of them have been positive because people, like I said, have been smart enough to go visit the website and see the photo in the correct context. But at the same time, there are others that don't, or just are simply stupid, you know. So people need to get beyond this stupid photo. And again, it's not about politics. Definitely, just vote on the candidates themselves. They need to answer to everything about their platforms, what they stand for, not bringing up photos that have nothing to do with it, and especially doing it in a manner that's hurting people that have nothing to do with this campaign.
Do you believe the billboards themselves are defamatory, especially when it comes to the crushed girls and the image you want to convey out to the public?
Thankfully, the billboards only portray Mr. Farenthold, which and I've only met the gentleman once or twice. I really don't even know him personally. Thankfully, from what I've been told, he thinks it's hilarious. You know, it's just and I may be wrong on that. It's just what I've heard. But he's obviously the person to ask about that. You know, he was just having fun like anybody else there. You know, and obviously, if they're showing it at the Obama pajama party, obviously the pajamas were right. And Blake didn't look good. You know, I'll be the first one to say that. I need to lose some weight too. But hey, it's not about how good you look in pajamas. It's about how you're going to represent the people in this region.
And crushed girls will be the named plaintiff in this defamation suit?
Well, obviously we're still working on details about that, but we've already contacted our attorneys and we're taking steps. Obviously it's too early in the process to mention that.
So it sounds like Congressman Ortiz's comments and the photos that have been printed in your estimation kind of changed in the eyes of the public is what you're upset about, because it doesn't rightfully convey the image that you want crushed girls to have in the community.
Yes, ma'am. And you know what? Before I even continue with that, it's just I'm not so concerned about myself. Like I said, we've been around almost 6 years now. There's plenty of people that are well aware of who we are and what we do. That's why when it first came out over a week ago, I wasn't too concerned. It was just a matter of people really just seeing the photo in its proper context and visiting the website. That's all you have to do and figure it out for yourselves. However, when where it crossed the line is where he's clearly describing the event in which we're associated as something that it clearly was not. And then when you start talking about my girls who do so much for this community for nothing, we weren't paid for this event, for example. We're not paid for a lot of our events that we do for charity. We never take payment for that. So for the girls to be busting their butts in pajamas or otherwise for charity, and for someone to smear that, like I said, I would have words with anybody that does that.
And what is the mission of the Crush Girls?
Obviously our mission it's really not about the girls, it's about our website. Where our mission is to provide one source of information for everything that goes on in the area, and to actively contribute back to the community through our ambassadors, the Crush Girls, by being involved in so many community activities.
And earlier you said 4 organizations got the charitable donations. Can you tell us what organizations those were?
Tellie would be the man to talk to about that.
He said he couldn't give any names because the donors
It was his party.
anonymous.
It was his party. So it was clearly on our website, you know. So and now I will touch on this though. For those reports that have been made about the 4 organizations denying any knowledge of it, in truth, 2 of those organizations, from what I understand, just said no comment. So to me, that's not a denial. They're just obviously upset about all this ruckus as well.
Well, let me ask you this. I talked to Tony.
I'm sorry, man. Let me get this. He's been
Tony, with the demand you've made for the congressman to man up, are you going to demand that he pull these ads down and get rid of the billboards down the valley?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
That's a part of it. I'm sorry.
I talked to Tony Elizondo earlier from Big Brothers Big Sisters just
Right.
to try to get something straight from the source, and he said that Big Brothers Big Sisters never got a donation or even knew anything about this fundraiser
I
party.
think Tellie clearly cleared that up. The donations were made anonymously, and I'm sure you guys just need to ask the right questions. You know, as I know Eric Von Wade mentioned this morning, Tellie's just one of many wonderful people in our community, organizations. We got fraternities, sororities, our organizations, so many other individuals that host events for the benefit of charities, and we did one with Brewster Street recently for American Cancer Society for actually part of the Making Strides thing, and they were not actively involved with the event. We ran it ourselves, but it doesn't mean that they didn't benefit from it. You know, so the only difference between us and that event and Tellie's was that we did get permission from them to use their Making Strides logo in the flyer. But Tellie is well known in this community for doing charitable events, and every organization. I mean, heck, I sat on the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters Bowl for Kids' Sake last year with Tellie, so they're aware of us and what we do for them. So you guys need to just ask the right questions to these organizations, you know.
Well, I was asking if they did in fact get a donation because
He would need
Farenthold's campaign manager said that Big Brothers Big Sisters was one of the organizations.
Man, that's already been answered. I mean, obviously the donation, as Tellie already stated, was made anonymously. I'm sure there's no way for Tony to be able to confirm out of all the anonymous donations they make. Hell, we make anonymous donations because we get contacted so much, but people are already asking for our help. So we don't want to get swamped with even more. So I'm sure that's the reason why Tellie and so many other anonymous donors do it that way. So, any other questions?
Is it true that the young lady in the picture with Blake Farenthold is one of the big sisters in the program?
That's how ironic it is. Yes, she's actually one of the Big Sisters and Big Brothers Big Sisters. You know, and again, on behalf of her, we've been trying to get a hold of her, but I understand she's been really upset. Again, Mr. Ortiz, you need to make it right. You know, whether it was you or everybody else associated with your campaign, you need to make it right.
Do you know if she's going to be seeking legal recourse as well?
I have no idea. So, any other questions?
Can you say your name for the record and spell it, sir?
Tony Martinez, TonyMartinez.
And your official position.
I'm sorry?
Your official position.
My official, I'm the owner and marketing director for thecrushgirls.com. And of which so many of them are here right now as well. So That's all. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Take care. Thank you.